Hello and welcome to another quick update here about Bitcoin. Not too much happened, but Bitcoin shows some signs of life. So this could at the moment still be the blue wave 2. We discussed it in the previous video we have, and you can see again how relevant these levels are. Yeah, we talked about that this particular blue wave count is basically the primary and very likely until we go above the $20,200 level. And where did we get to? To $20,200. What was that based on? That was based on the assumption that we were coming down in a wave 1 here to the low of 19,335, and we are retracing now in a wave 2 with a maximum really the 78.6. Of course a wave 2 could go higher. Yeah, it doesn't really officially get invalidated until it touches the 20,440 level, but you know, Elliott Wave is an element of using the rules, but also applying it together with experience. And you can't really have a reliable wave 2 that breaks the 78.6% level, especially if it's a, you know, not just maybe a week is acceptable, but if it breaks above it substantially, it's not reliable anymore. So, but maybe that is the wave 2 rally that I mentioned in the previous video, that we could see some kind of a recovery rally. Either here a weak one in the wave 2, and that probably has topped out. If we go any higher, then we have to assume that we actually haven't started yet the wave 3 in white, but that the wave 2 is unfolding, the high level wave 2, and that only after that we're going to see the wave 3 to the downside. So it's good to see that we finally see some kind of a wave 2 rally. I mentioned in the previous video there's basically the count at the moment. We have to assume that wave 2 in white topped already here, that this was an ABC pattern, and would be coming down in wave 3 with a target around 17,400, I think it was. I mean that we also have the potential that wave 2 hasn't actually been completed yet because it was so weak, and we can still count all of this if we want to as a wave 1, the entire move. So that would then mean that we count wave 1 here, and then we had an A, B, C in a wave 2, which ideally goes a bit higher. This one that we had in was very weak. I don't like it, but it's not invalid, it's acceptable. And the ongoing weakness of the chart just suggested that we're coming further down, and that we're already here in the wave 3 in white. And those sub-wave counts suggested here a leading diagonal in a 1 and the retracement in a 2 unfolding, which happened. And then now, important is this kind of pivot point at the $20,200 level. I mentioned it to you in the previous video. If we go above that substantially, which means we go above it, retest it from above, start to climb higher, then this wave 2 is not likely anymore, and we have to assume that we're going to see a larger rally of the wave 2. And if this is happening, then we would expect the wave 2 in white to get into the region between 20,745, that would be the weakest one, all the way ideally up to 21,523. And as I said, it could go as a max to 22,100, but that would be very unlikely. Especially to get above that would be unlikely. Okay, and just we wanted to quickly update you about those micro moves. We see a little bit of, Bitcoin is still alive. We see a little bit of a signal here that we start to possibly climb further, but it is that $20,200 level that I highlighted, which we reached and we bounced off, as you can see here if we zoom in. So it's interesting, but it was not enough of a reaction to make me say, okay, this is not going to work out. Still could. The bull's still trying, and if we climb any higher, it would be nice. It would be the chance for anybody who wants to get out before we go down in a wave 3. And that's really everything I can tell you here at the moment about Bitcoin. Explained it all a bit more in the previous video, so anyone who would like to have a bit more context, check out my previous video from today, still relevant. And I hope you all have a great weekend. Hope you all liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye bye.